They're kind of similar to shrimp, but a little bit, or quite a bit different. I'm gonna need to just reach in with my fingers here. Oh, here we go. All right, I think that's a good piece. I'll eat that there. It's everything you want in a good Chinese restaurant. Good morning, everyone. It's Mark Wiens with migrationology.com in Hong Kong. Just took the metro to Tin House Station this morning. And actually, I really wanted to go to this coffee shop street food stall called Bing Key, which is right in this area. And I went there last time I was in Hong Kong. It's a great place, but unfortunately, they are closed on vacation. So we are heading over to a different place to have some roast meat.
Good morning.
Yeah, for here. Char siu. And pork.
Okay.
Roast pork.
Okay.
One pigeon. Yeah.
One pigeon.
Made it to this restaurant, and it is called Quan Yu, and this is a definite meat paradise. You are met at the entrance with just a cabinet, a glass cabinet just filled, fully stocked with an assortment of different roast and braised meats. There's chicken, there's duck, or maybe that's goose. There's roast pork, there's char siu. All things delicious meat are within that front cabinet. And they do have a dining room in the back where you can take a seat and eat, but they also, it seems a lot of people come here for takeaway, get a styrofoam box full of meat to go. I got one plate of rice topped with both char siu, and how could I resist that roast pork? They literally have the entire like carcass rib length of pork roasted, and like that golden bubbly skin that is just irresistible. So I had to get some char siu, which is the Chinese barbecue pork, plus the roast pork over rice. And then also I really wanted to have a pigeon, so I had to get a pigeon. Let me grab a pair of chopsticks. He very expertly chose the meat and then sliced it up expertly. The char siu is on the bottom, and look at that roast pork. That looks ridiculous all over rice. There's a splash of sauce on the bottom. Let me just go for a piece of the char siu first. That was actually a very lean piece of char siu. Not too fatty. And what's actually really good about that is it's not too sweet. Sometimes char siu can be a little bit too sweet for me. This one is more on the salty side with just a little bit of balance of that like sweet glaze. Oh, it's really good. It has a really nice like salty smokiness. Wow, okay. On contrary to that char siu, which was pretty lean, this is like pure fat. I think that whole part is fat and then a piece of meat at the bottom, but look at that crust of skin and that color. Wow, that is fatty. But that just melts in your mouth until you get to that skin, which is just like pure ultimate crispiness. That has to be balanced with a bite of rice. Or maybe I should balance it with a piece of vegetable. I think it's choy sam. It has a little bit of a bitterness to it. Really good. I'm gonna make my way over to the pigeon now. And I don't think this is roasted. I think it's braised. Maybe soy sauce braised? I think so. And I have to begin with that little wing, that little drum right there. Look at the dark color of that meat and how just succulent it is. And in fact, I'm just gonna tear that guy off and get the whole drum in my first bite. Oh, that is like a really succulent meat. The skin, yeah, it's definitely not roasted, but it has like almost like a sweet honey glaze is what it tastes like. And then that meat underneath, it's like dark meat, but it's very lean and very succulent. Oh, that's so good. Next up, this is more of the breast piece, I think. yeah, that actually tastes like liver. Oh, it's so lean and just so pure. And it has a little bit of a mushy texture similar to liver and a little bit of like an irony taste to it. All of the meats here are really good, but on this plate, the char siu is definitely my favorite. And normally I would prefer the roast pork because the char siu can be kind of sweet, but the char siu here is excellent. And then I think just because the piece we got of the roast pork is a little bit on the extreme fatty side, it's a little too fatty for me, or the ratio is a little on the fatty side. But the char siu in particular here is just absolutely fantastic. When you come here, you have to get some char siu. But actually, my absolute favorite thing here is the pigeon. This pigeon is just insanely good. I think this is the wing with a little bit of the breast part. And I love pigeon how the skin is really good, but the actual meat is really lean. Okay, that's not gonna break. I'm just gonna have to bite it. This is an amazing place to eat your fill of roast meat when you come to Hong Kong. And the staff here, the owners, are really nice as well. So if you're looking for some delicious meats in Hong Kong, this is a great place. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That was a delicious meat experience in Hong Kong, and I just have to emphasize it one more time. Char siu is not always my favorite, but their char siu was fantastic. But I think my absolute favorite thing was that pigeon. You have to have a pigeon when you come here. We're going back to the subway and back to Central. We made it to Central Station, took exit D2, and on our way to go eat at a Dai Pai Dong. One of the great things about Hong Kong is that it's so hilly, and so it gives you a chance to get some exercise just walking to the next restaurant. A Dai Pai Dong is a registered, licensed cooked food stall in Hong Kong, and oftentimes they are street food stalls or even at market stalls that serve food. But one of the things about Hong Kong is that they used to be very popular, but now a lot of the Dai Pai Dongs, because they run within the family, have started to phase out as Hong Kong has become more and more modern. But there are still some street food gems in Hong Kong, this being one of them, and I am excited to be here for lunch. This Dai Pai Dong is called Sin Ki, and it's one of the most legendary Dai Pai Dongs in Hong Kong. What I love so much about this is the atmosphere. You're sitting like, we're right at Central in Hong Kong, surrounded by malls and fancy modern shopping centers and buildings, but then right within this alley, there are some street food stalls, and you come here, people are hanging out, people are relaxing, it's really a throwback to traditional Hong Kong, and they have a full menu of different mostly stir-fried dishes and some soups, and I just ordered a couple of different dishes. I am ready to eat for lunch. This is my kind of an environment. I was just standing here watching him cook, and he was cooking our sweet and sour pork, and he just gave me a taste of it right out of the wok. Okay, it's so hot. I got it. Oh, that's hot. At first I thought he just wanted me to take a photo. Aww. But then he like held it out and he was like, take it. We ordered a couple of different dishes, including sweet and sour pork ribs, and then also ordered chicken fried with green onions and lots of ginger, and then also some clams stir-fried in black bean sauce. I already tasted this because while I went to go film him cooking, he was cooking this, and he gave me a piece right out of the, literally right out of the wok and right out of the spatula. But I'll taste another piece. It's crispy and deep fried, and inside is like pretty fatty pork, but it's sweet and sour. It is a little bit sweet, but it's balanced with sourness, and you can just taste how he cooked it so fresh. And that needs to be followed with rice. The clams just came to our table right now, so I'm gonna try them while they're hot and fresh. Clams stir-fried with black bean sauce. There's some chilies in here and some onions. I will just grab that top guy right there, filled with sauce. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, those are just bites of joy. The black bean sauce has a wonderful, slightly salty, but like a preserved taste. And then it is a little bit spicy from those green chilies. And you can also really taste the breath of the wok, which is called wok hei, which is the smokiness that only comes as a result of stir-frying something on a very high heat. And then finally, this is stir-fried chicken with lots and lots of green onions. And what I love is there's just whole mashed chunks of ginger in here as well. But let me try a piece of chicken first. That's my kind of a dish. It has like a wonderful charred flavor to it. And then with a brown gravy sauce, and you can really taste the ginger as well as the green onions. Ginger. A little bit of a spiciness to it too. And that is salty. So that definitely needs to be eaten with rice. I'm gonna go for this clam down here. And there are some sliced up red chilies in here as well. Oh, that is just covered in sauce and chilies. Oh, that's so good. And they do taste really fresh, and just the way they've cooked them, and this atmosphere. I love this place. I'm down to my final clam, and I promise I didn't plan to put 2 clams in one shell. I just found it like that. I just kept eating, and this was at the bottom of the stack, a double. Look at this beauty, and look at all those toppings. Okay, I did add the toppings on top, but I promise I didn't add the clam to the other side of the shell. I'm just gonna go ahead and slurp this entire thing. This is the best dish for sure. Oh, it's so good. But I also really like the chicken with the ginger. Not only is the food good here, it's a little bit oily and salty as well, and that's partly why it tastes so good. But what's such great about this Dai Pai Dong is that ambience, how you're right in central Hong Kong surrounded by sky-rise buildings, and then within the alley, it's just a totally different world. Auntie is tallying up our bill right now. Okay, total price comes to $169. We are heading back to the hotel for a little while this afternoon. It's hard to believe that this trip around the world for food with Star Alliance is almost over. Tomorrow, Ying and I fly from Hong Kong back to Bangkok, back home, and yeah, it has been an amazing trip. But this is our final dinner, and I was just trying to look around for places to eat in Hong Kong, and I ran into a blog. It's called strippedpixel.com, and his name is Paul, and he gave me some inspiration to go to a restaurant. It's a little ways from here. We're gonna take the subway. Might take about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes to get there, but it looks like a food mission that I do not want to miss. And as a traveling food lover, there's nothing better than taking a food mission. Right now we're at Admiralty Station, and we are gonna go all the way up to Fo Tan. Made it to Kowloon Tong Station, and now transferring to the East Rail Line, which is the light blue line. The light blue line is actually a railway, and so we're waiting for the train now. This food mission is only building my anticipation for dinner tonight. That took exactly 32 minutes to get to Fo Tan Station, and it should just be a short walk to get to the restaurant from here. In the train, we passed through a mountain, and we are in a valley now. Mountains surrounding, and still skyscrapers, but it's very quiet. We took a little walk through the lush greenery and emerged into an apartment community. This is called the Woche Estate, and it's like a little mini city. We are getting really close, I can feel it. And I'm getting my first glimpse of the place. It's right here, we made it. It's called Chan Kun Ki, and this is a huge open-air Dai Pai Dong style restaurant, and they've only just opened for the evening, so that's why it's not packed yet. But they must have maybe at least 100 tables in here, some of them huge round tables that can accommodate 20 people at a table. And there are a couple of tables where they are already feasting, but there are, I'm sure within an hour from now it's just going to be packed out. Normally at this restaurant they have a pad of paper and a pen and you write down your order, but since I don't know Cantonese and I can't write Cantonese, the good news is they do have a picture menu with some of their signature dishes, so I'm just gonna try to go find someone and tell them and ask them to kindly write down our order for us. Service is a little bit tricky here, but that is a sign of a great restaurant. I'm not sure who is working here, who is serving, or who is eating here. But anyway, the lady who is serving beer, she was very kind and she helped me to write down the dishes I wanted, and now we gave it to someone and hopefully our order is being processed. I'm gonna pour some of this tea into the basin. Oh yeah, that's hot. Rinse these up, and then you want to make sure to rinse everything, the spoons, the bowls. And even the entirety of them. Another thing that I need to point out at this restaurant is that on all the tables they have a piece of plastic, and because they have fans which are blowing throughout this entire restaurant and there's lots of air movement, in order to keep the plastic tablecloths from blowing away, I think they wet the tables and then just set them down, so they're like the tablecloths are half flapping, but it works pretty well. The first dish has come out, and I think they're just gonna kind of bring dish by dish, so I'm not gonna wait for everything to arrive. I'm gonna get started eating. The first dish is drunken chicken, and I got half a chicken, and immediately as she brought this over, you could smell the like, I think it's rice wine that it is prepared in, and there is a whole set of quail eggs, I think, on the side, and this is a beautiful chicken served in a metal bowl within a wooden vessel, and you know it's a good chicken when there's still a feather on the skin over here. I'm gonna take this piece right from here. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. The layers of that is amazing. Oh, wow. Look at all those layers of chicken. And then the skin on the top. You can see how the skin will actually just like peel right off of that meat. Wow, okay. Oh, that is amazing. It's served cold. And then that texture of the chicken, it's chewy, a little bit chewy, and it has that like country yard bird texture to it. Oh, that's awesome. And then, although it has a very strong aroma of liquor, it doesn't have a strong taste of liquor, but you can definitely taste a little bit, mostly just like a fragrance. It's perfectly salty, and just that amazing like muscular texture of the chicken. You do have to be careful of biting into little bone shards, because now they've chopped up the chicken, so sometimes there's a little piece of bone in your bite. The next dish that has come is a fried fish, and I think it's a barramundi, and you just have to check this out, the eyeball. It must have been fried on such a hot fire within such hot oil that the eyeball just popped out like a piece of popcorn. I might need my spoon for this. Oh wow, that is very soft. And yeah, I think it's a barramundi fish, and then it's just topped in a bunch of gravy sauce with green onions, and I think that's ginger. Oh yeah, that is ginger. Oh, the fish is good. Crispy on the outside, and kind of fleshy on the inside, a little bit salty, a little bit oily, and then with that nice taste of like crushed ginger all over it, as well as green onions. For their system, as they bring out the dish one by one, but as they bring out the dish, then you have the dishes that you wrote down and they check it off to confirm that you got it. So we're still waiting on one more dish, but the third dish has arrived. These are mantis prawns, and they're kind of similar to shrimp, but a little bit, or quite a bit different. And I think, yeah, they have a pretty hard outer shell, so I'm gonna need to just reach in with my fingers here. And maybe I'll pull off that head first. Oh wow, and what's under, oh okay, I see. Actually, come take a look at this. Looks like they are braised in a like chili sauce, and then there's pieces of tofu on the bottom here. Oh, let me eat one of those pieces of tofu right now so I can taste that sauce. Oh, it just looks like it's purely absorbed all of those juices down there. Oh, and I can smell cumin too. Wow. Oh, that is delicious. Oh, that's like hot chili oil below there. When I bit into that piece of tofu, the chili oil just like exploded and hit the back of my throat. Okay, now back to the mantis prawn. It kind of looks like a centipede, like a cross between a centipede and a shrimp. Oh, there we go. You pull off that whole, oh no, I broke him in half. Okay, let me eat that. It's similar to shrimp, but with a little bit of a crabby flavor as well. And maybe it has like a little more of like a fishy taste than shrimp. I'm honestly not sure what is the easiest way to peel these. All right, I think that's a good piece. I'll eat that there. Yeah, really kind of tastes like a cross between crab and shrimp. Yeah, it's kind of like stringy, like crab, but then it has the taste of shrimp, but with a little bit of a sweeter, kind of more softer texture. Well, that's a hot bowl of rice. And finally, this is the last dish I ordered, and I didn't actually have any idea what this is, but I just saw it on the menu, on the picture menu, and because of all these chilies, that was enough to make me order it. And it has come, and it is just as pretty as I thought it would be. And I think it's actually fish, slices of fish down here. There's loads of dried chilies in here. I think this is Siamese cardamom. You can smell the Sichuan pepper in here. You can smell the ginger. I'm glad I decided to order this. And I had no idea what it was, but I saw the picture right up there. It's right above where I'm sitting. And so I had to order it. I'll start with this piece of fish here. Oh yes, that is as good as I had hoped for. Oh, that fish has an amazing silky texture to it. And then there's so many dry chilies in here. You can really taste the cumin, and also you can really taste the, maybe like ginger, and so many spices going on in here. What is this, kind of a nut or spice? Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it is creating just a medley of delicious spiciness. I didn't even realize the restaurant is full. When we came, it was almost empty. Now it's packed. There's not even an empty table. Okay, back to the fish. Oh, and you do have to be careful of bones. There are bones, lots of them. Let me fish this guy out. Oh, I'm so happy I ordered this dish. Eat that with rice, that's amazing. Let me try one of those dry chilies. Oh yeah. And I think it's a little bit spicy, but it might kick in a little bit, in a few seconds from now. And then on the bottom, there's some pickled, I think preserved mustard greens, as well as bean sprouts. I'm also really loving the drunken chicken. And you can see some of these pieces, the skin has just started to like gelatinize because of its cold. Yeah, look at that gelatin right there. That's like cold chicken gelatin. Oh, and that piece from the bottom, you can definitely taste the alcohol in it. Really, really good though. The texture of the chicken is so wonderfully chewy.
Hello, Mark.
What? Oh, hello. Wow, was that good. And the restaurant is just packed right now. I think you have to walk your bill up to the front to pay. Okay, we found the line where you pay for your food. Ying is at the cashier now paying, and I am just absolutely marveling at this restaurant. It is so huge. There must be like 1,000 people eating right here, and it's busy, it's chaotic, it's everything you want in a good Chinese restaurant. So I'm glad we got here early to get a table, and we are now out of here. But that was an unbelievably memorable dining experience in Hong Kong. It is just insane how they are able to serve so many people at one time and maintain the quality of the food. And they have it down to a system. All right, now walking back through the apartment complex, back to the train station, mission complete. We walked back over to the railroad station. That was one of the meal experiences that is worth traveling for. The food was good, the atmosphere was just pure, exciting Hong Kong, and yeah, I absolutely loved that. I'm gonna say that was an ultra successful mission accomplished for food tonight. Oh, and it was worth every minute on the subway to get here. I would say that this restaurant, it would be really helpful if you could come here if you had a local with you who could speak Cantonese. I didn't really know what I was doing to order. I just had to choose off those, off of the pictures. But as I was walking around the restaurant, I saw lots of people had ordered many, many different dishes that all looked incredible. And if you knew how to order them, that would be even the upper hand. But anyway, it's a fantastic restaurant. It's worth the trip out here. We're gonna head back now to Hong Kong Island, so I'm gonna end the video for today right now. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. It's been a fantastic food day in Hong Kong. And please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you click subscribe for lots more food videos, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you again for watching.